everyone, welcome back. I'm super excited for today because we are talking to someone who has seen it all. In the world of quality assurance, we have got Usha Rani Polamarasetti joining us. Usha has a massive 14 years of experience in the trenches of testing, with a strong focus on manual testing for over a decade. Why her? Because right now everyone is freaking out about AI taking jobs and automation being the only thing that counts. And Usha is a living proof that manual testing is not just surviving, it's thriving. We are going to dive into her origin story, why automation still can't do everything, and get her brutally honest advice for freshers entering the field today. So, are we all screwed? Let's ask the expert. Hi, Usha. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Tech is Our Passion. Usha, I wanted to talk to you for a long time now because you have been in the testing job for over a decade. Like you have 14 years of experience in testing. And all the buzz going around AI and especially testers thinking that we all are screwed or like testing jobs are screwed and AI is going to take testing jobs. What are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so it's a good start, Neha. So it's like most asked questions now, like which is like so trending question even wherever we go, the same question is
Yes.
being asked. So for me, it's a big no. Neha, it's kind of we can take a couple of examples from the past.
Done.
Even when
Okay.
automation testing came into existence, they said like manual testers will get waived off. It never happened. Similarly with AI, now people are telling like testers will waive off, but this may not happen, right? So
Okay.
everywhere manual intervention is needed. But the catch here is like people who are not updated or not upgraded as per the market standards, definitely they will stand behind. But who are getting skilled, who knows how to use this AI and all, obviously will stand first in the market. It's not like AI without human beings. It is always AI plus human beings can create wonders.
Okay. So you're saying like AI with human beings, but I mean, I don't want to delve into this right now. I don't want to go into the AI topic straight away. So I'll keep this for
Sure.
our upcoming questions. But before we move ahead, let's go back like 14 years ago. How actually you ended up in testing? I mean, when you started college, was it like a dream to be a tester or you thought of something else and you ended up here?
No, actually, I joined college clueless. It's my only thing is like I have to get a job. Any job, I have to get
Half
a
of India
green.
does that. Half of India
Yeah.
does that. I mean, many people, I think, when they don't have that proper guidance, they actually end up in college like going clueless or something like someone else's pathway they follow and then they end up in college.
Yeah. But now people are having a lot of awareness. But when we did our graduation and all, like there are no people who guided us correctly. So I just stepped into the college. I had a dream of doing the job, but not like specifically this or that kind of.
Okay.
But over the period of time, like I got a couple of jobs, couple of offers.
So you
in
don't
my
have the
hand, so
testing. I mean, you didn't dream of doing the testing job, but somehow you ended up here.
Of course. So out of multiple offers, when I inquired people what suits me, like I asked like people who know me better, like
Okay.
my lecturers, my cousins and all, then they suggested like testing suits you. That's how I entered into testing with clueless. I don't know what is testing at that point.
Okay. So didn't they tell you like you're good at, fixing things, that's why you should go for testing or something like that?
It's kind of logical thinking. What they observed is like logical thinking. So
Okay.
when I was a person who not got compromised for anything. So if something is not good, no, this is not good. That is how I am. So they used to tell like that is what the role of tester. If something is not good, they should tell on the face like this is not correct. So that suits you better.
I
That
mean,
is how I
someone who is upfront, someone who don't think. I mean, if someone asks you that this particular layout is looking good or not, if someone can say upfront like this is not good, they can be a tester as per you, right?
Of course.
Great.
That is the job
Great.
of the tester, right? It's like finding out the deviations in the application.
Finding the problems which developer can't fix. Testers'
Exactly.
job. Developers say this definition. Like testers are on our head always to, fix this. This is not good. This is not good. This is not good.
It is not like they cannot think. It is like their part is to develop. So they have certain limitations. So of course they are not able to think. So testing evolved.
So this is not something for the developers. I mean, see, you guys are doing your job, but testers are also here to fix that, what you are not able to fix. That's it. Nothing else. To be honest, since you said like manual testing, everyone said at time manual testing will go, and especially you have been doing manual testing for a decade now. So have you not thought ever of like just doing and moving to automation testing, since everyone was saying around you that automation testing will be the future, not manual testers?
Of course, initially I had a dream. When I started my career, everyone was speaking about automation, and then I felt like, why not I? Even I can. So at that point, I went to my manager, I asked for automation project, and he said like, see, these are the limitations. Everywhere, wherever we go, with whatever project we are, if we see the ratio of manual testers and automation testers is always like 7:3. So he used to tell like there is no scope for automation right now. So years by years, I used to go and ask, and finally I noticed like, okay, manual testers exist forever, because comparatively the ratio of manual testing is also high. Initially I felt like automation I should be opting, but later I felt like, okay, manual testing is also having this strategic thinking where we apply logics, and of course this is on demand forever and ever. That's what I felt.
So forever, manual testing will ever be in demand. It's not just like everyone, just like everyone says, because around me, many people have been saying that, manual testing is good, but automation is the future. Manual testing is fine. In some projects, you need manual testers, but it's as per the demand. Manual testing is not something which is always required, or like, sometimes you demand in some certain project that manual testing is required. Then only you require manual test.
Neha, to be specific, if you see any job description in any of the job searching portals, simply they keep a word like they should know the automation, minimum 2 to 3 years of experience in automation.
Okay.
But the question is like, are they really giving the automation tester role once they stepped into the organization? No, 70% of the people won't get that opportunity.
So then that means the automation testers who are thinking, I am going to be automation tester, they are going to end up in manual testing itself first, and gradually they'll move forward to automation testing. That's what you're saying.
Recruiters are smart. Like when time comes, with the project comes for automation, they should not teach the employee from starting to end. So they take a person who have minimum basic knowledge on automation. And also employees are so smart. They say like they have a real-time experience in the past, not now, so that the questions will be like easy in the interview. But actually they go through a couple of videos and all, they gain enough knowledge and attend the interviews.
Okay, so initially it is like automation testing is required, but ultimately somehow you might end up in manual testing is the essential thing which you're saying, right?
Like both are required. It's not like because automation evolved, manual testers will vanish. It never happens, because automation has its own limitations. It cannot eradicate these manual testers, but the kind of like it add on to the standard applications, to the applications which are in maintenance. Automation does its work. It's really good to use there, but it is not like manual testing is not required. First, any testing starts with a manual testing. So over the period of time, when the application becomes stable, then the automation test scripts come into existence.
This is how, this is my understanding. This is how thing goes on. Once any project, the developer has developed the features and everything, it comes to manual testers first. They test all the things. And once the features are stable, once certain features are stable, like these all are good to go, nothing is required to fix here, then it goes for automation, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay, that's how I was not aware of this. Definitely.
So say suppose there are 7 requirements, okay? Out of 7, 6 were developed. So first it comes from manual testing. So manual testers have to thoroughly test all the edge test cases, boundary values, and everything. Manual testers will test, captures, find the defects, give it to the developers, get it fixed, and make the stable version of the application. Now the time comes where 4 and 5 have to be developed and tested. So for 1, 2, 3, they will implement automation. 4 and 5 is always a manual testing. Why we have to implement? Because manual testing is already done. Why we have to implement automation on 1, 2, 3? To check whether nothing is broken because of implementing 4 and 5. Just like it's not checking it. We are doing something on top of application, and we have to cross-check that nothing existing is broken. For that, we use this automation scripts. Say suppose in future 6 and 7 comes. All these 5 will be tested. It's called regression testing. So we
regression testing. Okay.
Test the same functionality again and again whenever something new is happening on the application to check nothing gets broken over there. So manual testers are needed, right? Whenever something
Yes.
comes new, manual testers are obviously needed.
So this is how it goes. No, every new feature first needs to be tested by manual testers. Once it's finalized, then it needs to be tested by the automation testers, or like it's automated already. So the automation tester is just sitting and looking at whether the features are working or not, right? So I have a question over here. I mean, in manual testing, you're already checking whether things are broken or not, right? And you can fix it. But when it comes to automation, have you ever seen automation testing fails? Like, you have checked, you have passed all the things, then again in automation, after some time, it's like the features are not working, the things are misaligned and all that stuff. Does that happen?
It happens, Neha, because when the new requirements come, developers have to touch the existing code. When they are making changes on the existing code, there are certain cases which broke. They might be failing to integrate something, or they might be lack of understanding, they did something wrong. So all these type of things will be captured in the automation test scripts. So this is obviously good. Automation is simultaneously good, but that doesn't mean that manual testing will be replaced by automation testing. It never happens.
No, since you're the living example, I would say, I mean, you are doing manual testing for a long time, and so haven't you thought of like moving to automation testing, or you have that spark? Like manual testing is not that excites me right now. Maybe I should, be moving to automation testing kind of a thing.
No, as I said, like initially when I started my career, I used to ask my manager repeatedly, like, move me to automation project. Then he used to convince me, telling like there is no scope. But later over the period of time, I never had a thought. But with this trending AI and all, like there's many agentic models which is writing all the code without really requiring the automation testers. So at this point, I don't feel the need of learning automation to that extent because AI is doing.
AI is doing a lot of things. So do you think, I mean, okay, not now. I will not ask my AI questions right away. I mean, this is a very important topic. I'll save it. Okay, but I'll come to these pointers. I'm writing these down and I'll come to these pointers.
Sure.
But before that, okay, so you have been doing manual testing, right? And as I know, I mean, I have been told by many of my friends who are doing the testing, they have told me, like in automation testing or manual testing or in general testing, there are a lot of tools which you guys use to test the platform or to test the features and the UI, UX, all that stuff. So for testers, I mean, the tools are important, or knowing the coding a little, knowing the graphics, knowing user interfaces, how it actually works, the feature and everything. What is actually important, the tool or your own mind, basically?
To be specific, using our own mind to use the tool. Obviously, right? So manual testing, there is an illusion. Lot of people think like manual testing is just a button click. They give the data, they just click on a button, they see if something is working correct or not. But in real time, there are a lot of testing which are as part of this manual testing.
Okay.
Right? There are a lot of logics which have to be done. There are functional testings, non-functional testing, like system integration, everything we have to do. So each thing varies. Like the path which we have chosen, there will be certain tools. We should be obviously knowing how to use that tool. But again, when it comes to the testing strategies, mainly when we check these risk factors or when we check these boundary values or equivalent partitioning, all these requires a lot of analysis. We have to think logically using our human mind. And then we have to take the help of a tool to make the things easier. That's all.
So ultimately, I mean, the mind is important. But now I am taking the AI thing. Okay, the big elephant in the room right now, the AI thing. So how, I mean, you're saying AI is not going to replace the testers, or like you also think like now because of AI, you need to move into the automation testing. So how do you see AI replacing the manual testing?
It won't replace Neha. See, if we see any LLM, okay, each time we give a prompt, it gives different answers. Not all the answers are relevant. There is a right answer from what it has given. It's always like if we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, LLM gives us 50. We have to choose what 5 we want, and that requires a human mind, right? But instead of doing this 5 manually, we can use this tool, get it from the tool, so that we can make the things quicker. But that doesn't mean that the tools gives us everything. Of course, we need human mind to analyze what is required and to bring in what is required.
But then, Usha, again, one thing, I mean, this is not offending anyone, or like I'm not saying everyone will lose their jobs, something like that right now. Okay. This is one of the questions in my mind. For an example, you're saying you give the scenarios to AI, right? And out of like 500 or 50, it chooses 4 or 5, and now you can use that. But then, since we know AI gradually learns, AI is learning, AI is also evolving, then these input output scenarios in the future, AI will learn eventually. AI will learn how to think, and AI will have that mind. So what do you say? I mean, if I have to ask you, let's say I have 10 manual tests, okay, who are using AI, right? How can they actually save their job? I mean, eventually AI will be at their level, right? I know my job is also not safe. I mean, as a content creator, AI can be sitting here asking questions, maybe not friendly as me, or maybe as friendly as me. If I tell him all the traits of mine, he can do exactly copy of mine. But then, I mean, it's in the future, right? But it will be there. The same case is for manual testing. There will be a time when it will learn the way human do the testing. It will learn how actually the user want that particular interface, a user want that particular thing to be tested out.
So, of course, Neha, you are correct, but there are certain limitations for AI. Okay, we cannot give free access to AI. Especially, we cannot give database access because, say, suppose any banking application, if you give a database access to AI, we cannot secure it. People may misuse it. It may create a big noise in the market. Similarly,
that has already happened. It has already happened. I mean, people have been losing money. People have, but even after that, I mean, this is the other question. First, you complete, then I'll ask.
So even in a healthcare domain, if we see, there is a lot of PHI data where people are not allowed to share it even. So these type of limitations are there. So with these limitations, we cannot give end-to-end solution to any testing or any development thing. So using the AI, we simplifies the work, but AI cannot replace everything. But if we use AI for everything, definitely our minds will become dumb first of all. So
people are becoming dumber right now. Yes,
human beings should use the machine. Like machine should not rule the human being. That's what I believe. So using too much of anything is also leads to the negative thing.
I mean, this is another discussion which we have to do, like using something rigorously and a lot will also not be beneficial. But there is one example which I would like to, as you said, like the healthcare thing, okay, the doctor-patient rule and each and everything like that, I mean, which is confidential, the healthcare data, which is confidential. But what if the patient himself, okay, the patient himself is feeding his medical data to the AI? How can you stop that then? I am just for the healthcare department, but I am just taking this as an example. You said we will not be able to give, I mean, we should not be giving access of the healthcare data or any particular, I mean, financial data. But what if the user itself is giving the data to the AI?
So that's how a lot of people lose everything, right? They are like again complaining on AI.
People are not stopping. No, I mean, people are not stopping even after seeing a lot of examples, right? So this is like nowadays, it's very easy to scam someone. It's very easy if you just add one free word, no, free this thing, free thing, free this. They'll use it. It does not matter even if it's poison.
Waiting for the easy techniques to get the things done faster, easier, without more efforts. But of course, that leads to the adverse effects most of the time. Actually, we should get educated. Like we should know our limitations of what to share, what not to share. So people are so excited, like when our photo is getting replaced with some other thing and we are getting a finer, refined version of ourselves. We are feeling so excited, but we have to analyze and understand how good it is. How can we share our image to AI? In what ways?
That's the thing. No, people. I mean, this will be a big discussion if we get
maybe this will be another subject in the future. Like we have our academic usage of AI will be like one of the subject.
This AI buzz going everywhere, everything, no restrictions, especially on these things. So, I mean, this is part of a podcast which I am planning to do. This is for my viewers. Like I am planning to do, but let's not, I mean, get into that because it's a never-ending topic right now. AI is everywhere. Every other corporates is going crazy over AI. I mean, they don't know how to use it, but they want to use it. So badly they want to use it.
And market is also demanding. It's like whoever knows to use AI will be having the more demand. Of course, we should know how to use AI, but not all. We should also know the certain limitations of when to use and what to use. using too much and giving all the data to it, feeding all the data to AI, and then again, if some.
So you said a very good thing, like when to use, where to use, and how to use. You should be like knowing this. But then again, I mean,
complaint standards. Everything cannot be shared.
That's for the users. No, I mean, not offending anyone, but please, I mean, even if you want to have a very good picture, or even if you want some answers, maybe use Google right now. Not go ahead and use AI, right?
Yeah.
Don't give your health data to AI openly. Maybe it can, I mean, now we know AI is getting into military as well. So a problem for you in the future.
Yes.
Okay. Have you tried? I mean, since AI is the topic, and we talked about tools as well, right? So have you tried any AI testing tool?
Of course, I tried the basic versions like ChatGPT I tried, Claude I tried, Gemini I tried, and then Browser Stack I tried. And I want to reveal one most interesting thing. So our organization Answer is also doing one tool which is not yet into the market. MVP is going to release shortly. So QA Astra. For now, it is named as QA Astra. And it's fab. The integration between everything. In market, we have so many tools. For example, for test case design, we have tools. For execution, we have tools. But there is no integration. So users don't know what to use for what. So this specific tool, QA Astra, we are giving access to Zira through that application. And it reads the requirement, it gives the test cases, it do the execution, and it gives the test results. So it's doing end to end. But once this product is launched, it will be like amazing and trending in the market for sure, 100%.
Great. So Amazon is actually building a testing tool, which is AI testing tools. That's what you're saying, right? Great. I mean, since it's in a development phase, I'll do another podcast with you, like talking about this tool at length, and to tell viewers once you launch it, let me know. I'll put it also in my channel, and then we can catch up.
Needed for the viewers even. So
and then we'll catch up and see how actually it's helping. Just one quick question. Okay. So this AI tool,
before the next question, I can assure, like, if this tool steps into the market. Mm-hmm. People who have the thirst of learning automation testing but couldn't do that, the thought will go away. Because with the manual testing experience, we can automate everything. No scripting required, no knowledge required for anything. So this tool will be like amazing in the market, and I was the one who was eagerly waiting for that to get launched so that I can also do some automation scripts and just get rid of the word like manual tester. I want to be like manual and AI agentic tester.
Agentic tester. It sounds good. AI agentic tester. I mean, it's different sound altogether. The moment AI came, everything.
Never my dream. But this agentic testing and all, it comes. Like with this application, it is like easily possible. So I was like waiting for that. And I tested.
So you have this zeal of learning the automation testing. You wanted to do that, but you couldn't do it because of the projects like manual testing projects. You got the limitations. So now you have that liberty of like going ahead and learning it all together. And you can be like not manual tester, but you can be like AI agentic tester. Usha.
Yes.
Sounds cool.
Sounds good, right?
No, nowadays everything which has AI into it or agentic into it sounds very cool to everyone. Even like the prompt engineering thing. What you're doing, you're talking. I mean, I understand. It's a big thing. You know how to actually communicate with AI, right? But the prompt engineering word itself, it sounds cool.
It sounds good. But there are limitations. Even the same prompt, when you give to LLM again and again, it gives different.
It's not like this happens. So on this particular note, I'll give you an example. Even Nano Banana Pro or the Gemini or the Flow or the Kling or these actually content video tools, video AI generation tools. Okay. Even the creators who have created pretty cool videos or pretty cool images using one particular prompt, which they have openly said, like, this is the prompt which I have used to create this particular video. Even if you just go ahead and copy it and paste it in the same tool itself, it will not give you the same image which it has created previous.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of variations, a lot of difference.
Exactly. So that's what, when we are using these LLMs or whatever it is, AI agents or bots, we should know that it will not give the accurate answer every time. We should also have the knowledge. See, now if we see this Gen Z kids, they are just relying on what these agents are giving. So down the lane, if some problem occurs, these people may not understand or may not know how to debug it, how to get out of that problem and all, because they are
That's a
relying.
very good thing. Yes, yes, yes.
Thing is, like, we should know the basics, understand the basics, know the process, and then step into the models to make the process easy. But it's happening reverse in Gen Z kids.
Already know how, they already are in an era where everything is automated, or I would say where everything is very easily available. You don't have to. I mean, in our time, you remember. I mean, I have seen 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G now, right? I mean, it was a time where you, for just downloading a 10 MB image as well, you used to think like, costing me 10 MB, I only have 1 GB or like 700 MB data. How will I use it? And all that stuff. We didn't have all that things. But now they have each and everything readily accessible to them.
Unlimited.
They are technical kids now. They are technical generation kids. So, I mean, this is an example which I would like to give in the current, the AI summit, which happened in India. An 8-year-old kid has this idea of using AI and digitize the ancient Indian philosophies or calligraphies and everything, the Vedas and everything which we had. He is using AI to digitize and to convert it and translate it, all that stuff. I may be wrong, but he's an 8-year-old kid, and he met Sam Altman as well. Sam Altman was very impressed. He even mentioned in his Instagram, or I think X somewhere, he mentioned it. So now, I mean, at our age, because we didn't have this much of technology at our disposal, we were unable to think like this. I agree, this has their own merits and demerits, but then, I mean, the future is technology, right? As you said, I mean, you're excited about QA because it is making your life easier. You are able to go beyond your limitations, which you have right now. The same way Gen Z kids or Gen Alpha or Gen Beta will be.
Yes. It's like initially when we are there, like if you don't find anything, we used to just Google it. Out of number of answers, we used to pick what really suits us and all. But now it is like...
You remember we used to go like 1 page, 2nd page, 3rd page, sometimes 4th or 5th page of Google as well.
Multiple links, open a new tab, compare everything. Of course, when we are comparing multiple things, we are gaining something out of it. Now it's like spoon-feeded everything. So people are not...
You just write a prompt, I need this. Can you find this? ChatGPT is like, this is your data.
Copying, pasting the prompt. If it is not working, they are giving another prompt, copying and pasting. That's all. No problem-solving techniques and all here. I don't know. Really, I was worried about the future too. How the kids will raise and all. They just rely on simple English terminologies. They have to give the proper prompt, get the things done. But I don't know what happens to the logical abilities and all.
That's up for the discussion, I would say.
Yes.
So now, since we are moving towards the ending of our podcast, there are a few, very deep questions which I would like. This is one of the questions. Okay. You said AI would not replace, but from my point of view, I think AI would replace testers. Okay. I am not saying each and every tester. Okay. Because I have an example. Earlier, everyone used to say AI is here to help us. Right? The way it started when AI came into the picture in 2023. AI is here to help us, is here for you to skill up yourself, do your work in lesser time. But now we are saying AI can replace those same humans who are actually using it as skilling up thing, right? Now it's there for you. Out of 100, I can say like 10 people or, 10 or 20 people maximum or 40 people. I'm not sure. 40 people will keep their jobs. What's your view on it? What do you think? Upcoming testing era, the way, the QSTRI is also here, the AI agentic term which is there, right? Where do you see the AI testing going?
Tell a small example, Neha.
Okay.
So initially, people used to maintain the financial documents during a parents' thing and all. They used to write it in a book.
Right.
Using a pen or a paper.
The passbook was also there, yes.
So when these computers evolved, Excel sheets and everything evolved, people used to tell like people who are writing manually will get waived off. So there are certain people who restricted their learning. No, we will write on the paper with the pen only. They got waived off. But who have adapted the new technology, okay, and who learned this, how to use this computer, how to prepare this ledgers and all, they existed. Right. And it also created a new job opportunities. And because of that, there are so many chartered accounts, and it is like making the process so easier even. So
True.
new job, even in AI also, I strongly believe like new job opportunities will be created, and people who are skilled, who are adapting to the new change will sustain. But if people are like stubborn, I will use the same Excel sheet, same Word document, I don't want to use AI, definitely they will vanish within the short period of time. Maybe not more than an year they can exist. That's what I.
What would you say? I mean, I understand you're saying people who can skill up, but even after skilling up, there is no guarantee that you may get to keep your job, right? I mean, if you look at, for an example, since AI came into the picture, many of the corporates are thinking of how to save their money, right? I mean, they are thinking a lot on how to actually save their money. And when it comes to agentic AI kind of a thing, testing especially, agentic AI testing, they would definitely want to save the money. How can people actually save themselves even after they have skilled up? How can they prove to the corporates that they are useful? They are not someone who are easily replaceable. Is there a way? Do you think? I mean, is there a way to prove themselves?
No, not specific at this point of time because new tools are evaluating. See, one thing, if in a tool there are 9 things, immediately we are getting another tool with 10 things. So right now we are not sure how it will be, but I strongly believe anywhere and everywhere, 99% of the hard work and 1% of luck will make us to sustain. So let's put our hard work. Let's see how the market is going on. So when we are performing good, when we are adapting the change, most probably we will be having a job opportunity. That's a hope, but I cannot assure at this point.
That's a hope. That's true. I mean, right nowadays, everything is on hope. I mean, the way future things are going on.
Of course.
Another hard question for you, another hard ball to your court is, I mean, first of all, the way freshers are coming up, right? I mean, the freshers who are learning or who are into engineering, they are going ahead into coding. Someone wants to be a tester, someone looking forward to be in the industry. But the way AI is doing their jobs at the fresher level, now everyone wants to have someone who has that strong hold on a particular domain and they can be useful because the rest of the things can automatically be done by AI. So what's your, what advice would you give to fresh?
But Neha, I said like everything cannot be controlled by a single person. So of course AI helps human, but it does not mean like it does everything. So there will be certain loopholes, certain limitations where human intervention is required for sure. So, and all the interventions cannot be fulfilled by single resource. So of course there will be like, of course, out of 10, it might be like win-win situation. 5 may get replaced.
That's what I was saying. Out of 10, 5 will be replaced. So 50% ratio is
may happen, but we are not sure at this point of time if the new jobs will get evolved. But that is again, it's a hope. Like whatever we are listening to the people interviews of CEOs and all, they are like,
because my friends and families have also been like, my friends, my colleagues, or different friends, who are working in the industry, they are also like, the upcoming times will be tough. As we are seeing, the upcoming times will be tough because of AI. Even if you learn AI, that does not guarantee you that your job.
Yes, that does not guarantee us, because we should learn a thing such that AI cannot replace us. That level of learning, it's not like simply giving few prompts and getting the data and keeping it in some place. And if we cannot tell like I'm using ChatGPT, so I'm an AI tester or an AI user, we cannot tell it. So
that's what I was saying. I mean, that's something
AI cannot replace us. So that is how we should be.
So this is what you're saying. Even if you use an AI such as ChatGPT or Claude or anything, and you just are copy pasting, that does not guarantee your job is safe. You cannot say that you are an AI tester. I mean, an AI agentic tester is a different definition, and you need to fall in that particular criteria.
Yes.
Got you. Okay, since I'm talking about freshers, and now there are a lot of jobs which are asking whether you have the AI capabilities or not. Do you have certain points like you should be learning this, or there is certain certifications which you think people can do, and it can guarantee that they can at least go to the first round of interview, that kind of thing? Is there something like that?
So I personally not aware of certifications and all there, because the thing which is trending today, we are not anticipating whether it's getting trending tomorrow or not, because new tools are getting evolved. So I strongly believe if instead of focusing on any certification or something, it's better we upskill ourselves. Whatever the opportunity we get, we use to upskill ourselves in all the ways and then appear for an interview. Just like if we say maybe like I learned one course, I did some certification. By the time I attended to the interview, it will get outdated. So I should be investing a lot of time, lot of money to get that certification, right? Instead, as per the trend, as per what the market needs, we have to learn, jump into the interview. So
I mean,
do
you
give
have
a
to keep
small
learning. That's what
suggestion,
you're
kind of.
saying. I mean, you have to keep learning. You have to check even before going to the interview. You have to check what's actually trending today. But
It's a good practice to see the job description over there and see if our skill is meeting that. And if we are lagging behind, it's better we learn what the job needs and then attend for an interview. If not this one, it's the opportunity got closed. Definitely other opportunities will be opened. But we should know what market is demanding at that point of time. Whenever we want to step into some other new challenge, we have to read the job descriptions, understand what the market needs, upskill ourselves, and then attend the interview. So that our time will not get wasted, recruiter's time will not get wasted. Right. It will be a
that's true. I
genuine
mean,
profile.
yes. So this is like for freshers who are actually looking for a job. You
There are certain
need
people that
to-
just click on apply for everything in LinkedIn. They'll just try their luck. At least one I'll get kind of. It's
That's
not a
what
good
I was
practice.
saying. That's why I was asking you whether, I mean, before going forward and just clicking on that apply button, what actually they should be doing in order to even, after applying, the recruiter has to look at your profile, has to see whether you are skilled or not. In order to do that, what all things they require. So you have given a very good info, like you have to be updated before going to the interview, learn the skills. Right now, what you can do the best is learning. Nothing else. There is nothing else, I think. Okay.
Nothing.
Now, since we came to the apply section, like apply. Someone who is going ahead and applying the testing jobs, what are the red flags they should actually look into the job description or the company? What the red flags would you say there are in the job JD, job descriptions?
So you mean to say like red flag before applying for the job interviews and all? So
Yeah.
doubt on the people who ask for money because talent cannot be bought with the money, right? So there are a lot of things because people are having this urgency of doing a job. When we are searching, they are catching it. They are like, okay, you pay this much, you will be getting interviewed and all. I strongly
That's
believe
true.
that 90% of them are not genuine. And with this
They are
AI
not.
thing, they can create logos and everything. They can tell like as if they are existing from last 10 years. It's very easy for them to get one new logo and
The scams,
create some
yes.
content as if they are approved and all. So wherever they're asking or demanding for money, I strongly say like, no, don't go for it. There are numerous opportunities. You find the right one, get into that. Just don't waste your money giving to the wrong people and then suffer later. Instead, you can use that money to learn something new and then go to the genuine interview, attend it, and you'll crack it. Instead of giving money to some wrong persons and then again feeling bad about it, won't work out. It still demotivates you.
You have to get the job as per your skills. I mean, on your terms and your education and everything. You don't need to pay someone to get a job. That's what.
Now with AI, everything is possible. They can create any number of certifications. They can tell like they're existing, they're approved from the government, everything. And even we can see the images. Like initially, when I heard about AI images, it can create generative images and all. I was like so curious what images it can create. Okay, let me check. I just gave a prompt like QB Mahatma Gandhi photo as if he is attending to some business interview. Gave me Gandhiji photo with a good suit and all. So which never happened in the past. Right. So AI can
It's easy
create
to scam
any-
nowadays. Yes, it's easy to
can
scam
create
nowadays
anything. So
using
don't
AI.
trust on that certificates or whatever they show. Just don't pay anything. That's what I say for. Like when you have a talent, you will get it. If you don't have a talent, learn it, achieve it, but don't spend money unnecessarily.
Okay, now the last question. Okay, so I want you to be brutally honest on this one because we have talked about people losing jobs and everything, right? Is
Sure.
this a right time for freshers to enter into the testing jobs?
Yes. Enter before it becomes very late. Okay. With whatever skills you have, see the correct job profile, enter it. Because the learning curve is very high now. Like you cannot wait like,
Yes.
okay, after 3 months, within 3 months I'll learn this and then I'll enter. But within 3 months, there might be something else the market needs. So
A
whatever
very,
you have right
very
now,
2 points. Yes.
yeah, invest time, upskill more as much as possible. Find the right job which matches your profile, and then attend for it, crack it, and get settled fast. I don't know,
No,
like
I mean,
it's
this is, I
really
agree this, I agree with you. I mean, the way market is evolving, this is definitely something which you need to learn. But then again, it does not guarantee, right? I mean, even if I learn, even if like, for example, I learn for 5 days on testing, on 6th day I apply something, okay, there will be a new thing which comes on 7th day. By the time I get my interview call or I even get, selected, there will be something new for me to learn. That's how the
yes.
market is right now.
So I strongly suggest all the freshers don't take ages to learn anything. Because if you keep like 6 months, 8 month duration to learn something, within that 8 months it get outdated. It's not like an old days. For us, it's like, okay, if we learn Selenium, definitely we'll get a job. We had that surety at that time, before 10 years kind of, or before 5 years even. We have that surety. So we can invest 1 year time or 6 months time, whatever time we have based on the flexibility, we can learn slowly during that time. But now the slow process is done. Whatever you know, you have to invest time more, get upskill yourself, and get into the job as soon as possible.
Great. Okay, so shall we have come to the end? I mean, I don't have further questions for you, but before we close, is there anything you want to tell to the freshers or to our listeners, something which I have missed out, or something you want to convey?
Don't look for easy ways. That's what I tell. Easy ways maybe giving you a success in short period, but it will not last forever. Everywhere, like whenever you get something, because in this easy world, we are getting everything easily. If you give a prompt, I'll give you a simple example, Neha. One of my nephew, the teacher gave him a homework to do, write the tables. He just took the mobile, he gave, like, give me tables from 2 to 8. So he got all the tables and he's just copying from the mobile, just seeing the mobile. So I was like, after seeing that, I was like worried how he will learn it, because see, there is an easy way of getting it. Not required any human assistance. For mom is not required, dad is not required, teacher is not required. He is just copying and pasting from mobile to book. That's what I think. So don't look for the easy ways. Learn. Whenever you see something new, just analyze it. Why it is in that, why not it is in a different way. Analyze it and then use it. It's not like simply copy pasting. Then your brain stops thinking, and at one point there will be a dead end.
So guys, do not look for easy ways. I mean, yeah, I understand AI is there to help us, but then again, you have to put your mind, because the moment your mind stops working, it's your doom day. Nothing can save you then.
You cannot exist for a long time with the easy shortcuts.
True. I agree. Okay, so thank you so much, Usha, for joining us today and giving your valuable time. This was a very lovely, very lovely talking with you. I hope our listeners can learn a lot from this one, whether they want to do the testing, or they are just exploring testing, whether it's right for them or not, or whether if they are thinking that this is the right time for them to enter into the testing field altogether, right?
Yes.
It'll be great. Okay. Thank you so much, Usha.
Thank you so much, Neha, and thanks to all the viewers for watching our videos.